Hi, my name's Rachel McLeod, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker and an no, let's try that again. Emotional wellness and success coach. And so but what I want to talk with you about today is really a process for getting rid of unwanted beliefs and the crappy unconscious programming that comes along and surrounds those beliefs, because it's all got to go. If you just get rid of one, it's not going to work very well. Um, I have no more thoughts after that because I haven't really questioned that myself. What happens if you just get rid of one? I don't know. I I don't do that. I get rid of the whole program. Um, so I've never stopped to really think about that. Anyway, I think you would be on the road to progress. I think you would probably feel some changes, but I think ultimately we want to get rid of the whole thing and help your brain release that and move on, and continue building. Your brain will always have subconscious programming and unconscious programming. That's how it works. You want it to. That's really the place we want to live from, is that subconscious programming that's really matching our life now. But the trouble with this is that we're constantly outgrowing our subconscious programming, and sometimes we get stuck in that process and we can't really upgrade it. And so we're stuck running old programs from when we were 10 and 5 and 3 and 2, but we're living the adult life we're living right now, and you can tell there it's not running well, right? You're bothering yourself, you're frustrated with yourself, your the conversations aren't going as smooth as you want. You've got symptoms of anxiety coming up, or depression, or traumatic stress can be a sign that the program isn't um, moving forward, right? Avoiding, distracting. Those are things that tell you you don't have a program that runs nicely when that happens. And in there, whatever that is, right? Insert that. Right? Like if I work with coaches, sometimes that are having problems with their phone calls. And they will start to have symptoms in their body before a call, when they're doing enrollment calls, right? That lets you know there's something in there. That program is not running well. And you know that you want your subconscious program to run really, really well because it runs automatically. And this is what athletes are constantly training themselves for, so that they not only is it in their highest level of performances in their body, but it's in that subconscious programming. They can go on the court, turn their brains off, not really, but they can leave their conscious mind and play and just flow with things. That's because they're running in that nicely worked out subconscious programming. Um, and so this is a really powerful process that's needed in every aspect of your life. We are, and there's so I wanted to put, a process for getting rid of limiting beliefs. And yes, unwanted beliefs are limiting ones. They are limiting your performance. They're limiting how you feel. They're limiting the access that you have. They're limiting the doors that are opening for you in your life. Because these beliefs are directly working with a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And that part of the brain filters out information that's not in alignment with your beliefs. So if you believe that it's not okay for you to be wealthy, then it's going to whether you like that belief or not, right? Because we're talking about stuff that's in your subconscious brain. And if you have that belief in there, your brain will be filtering out opportunities for you to be wealthy, or to be financially secure or financially independent, or I'm talking finances right now, but deeply connected. If you have beliefs that you just can't really connect with people, then your brain will filter out all the times you ever have connected deeply with people, or all the opportunities where people want to do that, because it doesn't match your thing. And this part of the brain is there because we're getting so much information. If we were connecting and working with each piece of information we were being given, we wouldn't be able to function. And so, as a matter of fact, sometimes with PTSD, this thing, the reticular activating systems, it expands because to bring in everything, because it's not safe to not be aware of every single thing. Hypervigilance, right? And so you're getting all this information, and it's sensory overload, and now you're not functioning well. And that's a piece of this reticular activating system that we're constantly using, and it's constantly filtering in the opportunities that we want and filtering out the ones that don't match us. I didn't say that right. It's filtering in what matches our belief and filtering out what doesn't match our belief. Okay. And so lots of people will try and use this for, they'll just throw out stuff, which can really be helpful. But anyway, let me talk about it a little bit. They'll throw out a new belief that they want, right? We do this with affirmations. And I'm going to tell you today why this doesn't work and how to use it, why this doesn't work, when it doesn't work, and what to do in that case. Okay. So, but they'll throw out an affirmation or they'll put affirmations up. And this helps to tell your reticular activated system, hey, show me that. Let's do stuff with that. And so, and your activating system might be like, yeah, let's do that. Right. And that is a process that will happen. Okay. Now I've run this talk in the direction way past where I was going. So I'm going to back up and pick this up here in a second, because there's a couple of things in this process that, because you want to do two things all the time. And so I'm going to show you what those things are, and we'll get back to this piece of it. With a belief, so any beliefs that you have, there comes two things with them, why they're beliefs, and you can resolve and work through beliefs anytime. You don't want a belief anymore, get rid of it. Also, in this work, let me just caution you, don't be surprised at what's coming up from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is grabbing things all the time. We have mirroring neurons, so we're picking stuff up, we're practicing what other people are doing in front of us all the time. That might not be good for us, and it's going into your subconscious mind. There's stuff from childhood, there's stuff from you're getting from TVs, magazines, the news, that's just going into the subconscious mind, and you may not be aware of it. And it's like you'll find stuff that's in here and you're like, holy crap, how'd this get here? I don't know. I can't follow you around and find that out. But what the thing is that don't be surprised what you find in there. You might find stuff that you're like, I had no idea, or like this doesn't match at all, and that happens. So, but there are two things that make up a belief, and that is, one is the emotion. And a belief is a thought you think over and over and over again that feels true. And so there's an emotional component to this beliefs, and there's the evidence that your brain has stored in your subconscious mind that support the belief. So when those two guys are together, you've got yourself a powerful belief. And this is something that people use for the positive all the time. That you want to put a new belief out there and then stack beliefs, and that will make it's like you have a belief and you want to make a nice sturdy table for it to sit on, so that if life happens and comes along, it doesn't get shaken. And that you want that. There's some really great beliefs, you really want that nicely there. And you can use these same strategies to build beliefs, and I do train people to do that, and that's really important. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about tearing it down, like getting rid of stuff. That whole table, it's got to come out. And for instance, people can have a really high level of success in their life, and really they have this belief in there that might be so quiet. You got to really get down to the bottom level, and you hear this, and it's this belief, I'm really a loser. um and they could be the most successful person, and here this thing is, and this has got to come out of the subconscious process of out. It's got to come out of everything. It needs to be eliminated. And so really what we want to do is we want to get rid of the emotion. So we got this belief right here, right? And now we're going to keep pulling on it, right? We're going to pull it, and we're going to pull it and pull it, and guess what's going to come up? Emotion. All this emotion. And guess what? If you don't get rid of that emotion, your survival system's going to come around and say, nah, this is a problem, and put everything back in your subconscious mind where it gets stuck. So it doesn't get to come out. So what you need to do is we need to pull this thing out and get to this emotion, and we need to pull that emotion through your brain's healing pathways. Every piece of emotion that we can pull through the pathways, we get to pull more out. And then there's another emotion right there, and we pull that out. Okay. And that's one layer of this work. We're going to pull on it, find the emotion. When we're pulling on this, we can ask questions that involve four parts of you: your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your survival system, and your body. And we need to resolve this problem from every one of these players that are inside of you. And so we can ask very specific questions and they will tell us exactly what we need to know. And so we're doing this and we're pulling and we're pulling. And we're clearing out all the emotions that are associated with it until it gets fully through the healing pathways. Okay. That's one layer of this. Okay. But let me tell you what else is going on. The second layer is all the evidence your brain has of why you're a loser. Okay. Now, that's what we need to find out. And I'm going to show you how I think about this. When you're at the buffet, right? That tells you that's how the childhood moments from Rachel, where Rachel was during childhood. You're at the buffet, right? And you have those little plate things where you pull it out and you go on and you put your food on, right? Another plate comes up, and then you the next person line grabs that one, and then this is the evidence your brain has. Those the all the plates in that little thing that just keep bringing them up, 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 up. That's what it is. And what happens in your subconscious mind is that these things are layered, and it will usually tell you this one at a time. If you say like, you know, why do I think I'm a loser? Your brain will say, well, because remember that time? And you get the first plate. Now, that plate, that event, that time, right? That has emotion with it, right? So we're now on this one. And we want to pull all and work through all the emotion that's associated with, remember that event? Remember that one time that your brain says? Because it remembers everything and always will. So you need to deal with that fact, and we want to make sure that those all the memories that it has stored about you are stored properly. And what stops your brain from storing these memories properly, which means that they're stored in a way that elevate your function, is if what blocks that proper storage is when the event it has the stored emotion in there, right? Because when that event is coming through, it only whatever can come through is the stuff that the emotion didn't get too big with. Because once the emotion of the event gets too big, your survival system will squash it and everything goes back. And so only the stuff that got through is stored properly and nicely, because your brain will take whatever it can get through. It'll take that, hook that up, get rid of stuff, and it'll really do nice things with it. But it can't do that process with stuff that doesn't make it through. So really, when we take that first plate is the evidence that you're a loser. So we're gonna work through that event. We're gonna take this plate and we're gonna play with it. We're gonna pull it apart. We're gonna find all the emotions, clean it up, and then store it, right? And what happens is we're gonna take this plate, which is an event, and we're gonna use some interventions with it. And these interventions, it depends on which one's the right one for you because everyone's brain works a little differently based on many factors. And so the four I found to work universally with somebody, which means that I can give somebody. I haven't run using these four interventions. I haven't not been able to help the people that I'm with, right? So we're good so far, so good. Um, and the interventions that I'm choosing from and I'm matching with, and sometimes I teach everybody all of them. And I usually do it one at a time and we build. Um, but I teach them emotional freedom techniques, thought field therapy, energy medicine, and EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing. And we will take this and I have a strategy for helping people to work through these events quickly and as independently as they can. I can get people pretty independent in working through these things. So they will work through that, and we'll work on it together. We'll work on a couple of these together so they feel what that feels like and have a good, whatever, a good. You can't just say whatever. Like that's not how it works. A functioning skill set, right? That's what we're working on with that. And then they go and then they can keep pulling the plates out, the events, the associated, you know, the next one, because you pull the first one out and you work through that with your intervention and that resolves, and then you pull the next one out, you work through that, you go through all the evidence, and so you get to work through several memories at the same time. You might be working on that time where you saw your mom call herself a loser, well, if she is, you are, brains make that associations. So then you're going to be working through that. You're using an intervention with this, and then it's done because there's no emotion there anymore, and there's no, and you're watching your brain is already kicked up into starting different functions. Um, and so once you move the emotion, you will notice your brain moving on to different functions. And so, and once you start watching what your brain is doing, you know if you finished an event or not. So, and you're just going through these things, and pretty soon you've gone through all of the plates that are up, and your brain's like, well, I don't know why you're a loser. And I guess we're not. Let's put that up in the front and see what happens. And so you're actually then that you're a loser belief goes through your thinking center where your thoughts and your morals and your values are and who you are now. Right? It's the most updated version of you. And it goes through that. And that part of your brain is like, this doesn't match us. What are we doing with this? And since there's nothing else attached to it, and we've already processed all the other stuff, it's like, and it gets rid of it and releases it. And that's gone just like that. It's a phenomenal process. And because, I have people I send them on missions back in their brain to look around for it. And when they can't find that anymore, it just doesn't feel true. Then I want to know how it doesn't feel, how true does it feel now? Right. And once it feels totally true, then we're done with that aspect. And the brain is open to start receiving more and start receiving a new belief about yourself, which is really phenomenal. So, and that's how that now we have the opportunity to put a new belief right in there and see what your brain does with it. Because a lot of times there's nothing to block that belief. But anyway, building in new beliefs is a whole nother process. So that can be done quickly. I help with this. I notice we move through a lot of beliefs while we're doing this. It's one of the foundational things because the beliefs are the root of things, and so those got to go, right? Um, but the whole programming has to go around it, and that's really where we want to take out the evidence that your brain has. And while we're doing that, it's reorganizing. Because if you don't have that evidence anymore, well, your brain is like, what are we going to do with that new space? Well, we're going to fill it in with this and that, and we just keep going until that's not there anymore. So that is one way to get rid of unconscious beliefs, unwanted beliefs, and the crappy unconscious programming that comes around with it. And hear yourself, hear the words that you're speaking. You can hear your beliefs coming out of your mouth everywhere. And it even if you're like, I feel, if whatever comes after that, there's a belief associated with it. But the most important thing you need to know is that the emotion you're communicating with that statement is the most important part of the process, and to start using the interventions with that, because the emotion has to go in order for the belief also to go. As long as it feels true, it will be true. And so we really want to and besides, the emotion is the energy that empowers the thought. A thought that just is a thought with no emotion attached to it doesn't have any juice. It doesn't have any power to really create in your life, and it'll come and go. But it's the ones that have this emotion attached to it. You got a thought, and the emotion comes here and attaches to it. This one feels, and it goes through your body and your system. It can't get through and it can't get out because of that. And this is the one that this is a thought that has power attached to it. This is the one that you will create with. And so it's so important to get rid of that, especially if you don't want this belief. You've got to get rid of the emotion so the power of it is gone. And then your brain is like, well, what's this doing in here? We like powerful things. This isn't one of those things. And so it has to go through, and it will either gather up more power or not. And because it doesn't match you, it doesn't have the ability to gather up more power. I hope you got followed me there. So if this is something you want my help with doing, this is what I help people do very intensively, to go through their and update their subconscious programming, identify the beliefs that are blocking their highest function, and bring them into alignment with the life of their dreams. And this also naturally eliminates symptoms of anxiety, depression, and traumatic stress while getting you to your goal. So that you I in the about section of this video, I have a link there where you can learn more about working with me. And I'm going to keep it short today and jump off. Great connecting with you all, and talk to you soon. Take care.